right, hey everybody. Big day. Everybody excited? Let me jump into the chat here. Just have everything up and going, making sure I'm not making any noise or anything. All right. We're all excited. This is cool. So it was a long day. I've gotten nothing done. Had so many things to do, and I got none of it done because this thing's going on. And now my dog is barking. So let me just drop off the boat here by talking about, I got a new little setup over here on the live thing. So I'm going to show you how this is going to work. I'm pretty proud of this. Took me a minute. So I got it set up here. So you got your live chats over here, so I can see you guys talking about me. I can see it. And right down below, we got SpaceX. They just started their stream. Obviously, nothing's happening right now. But what I'm going to be doing is when they, get everything going, I'm going to jump over to this screen so that we can see that big. And I'm down, in the corner. I'm pointing at myself in the corner. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so that's how things are going to go. And I'm just going to keep an eye on this. In the meantime, I'll answer some questions, but I got a few things I was going to talk about first. First of all, my hair is totally messed up, but whatever. So a few things just to talk about what to expect today. We don't know. Anything could happen, and that's what makes this so interesting and exciting. So it is still possible that this whole thing gets scrubbed. This can always happen. And they do have another launch window tomorrow, same time, I believe, 1:30 to 4, whatever it is, Eastern time. So that's still a possibility. Whether or not this will be successful or not, again, we'll see. Elon, the last time I saw, he put it at about a 50-50 chance of success. I want to let you know, as you're watching this right now, I got on a live stream earlier and I was telling people there's a lot of other people you could be watching that know a lot more about this than me. Consider me the color commentator of the game that you're watching. And I think that's actually an apt term because I think people who really know what they're doing probably watch me and they're like, oh my God, I'm stuck in the booth with this guy. So that's what I am. I'm just here to enjoy it, run along with you guys. I'm going to share what I know, what I've read, but there are other people out there that know more than I do on this. Everyday Astronaut, Tim Dodd, he's live streaming right now. He's actually at the site, so he's actually got the rocket behind him. He'll get to see that. There's a whole bunch of people watching that. He's killing it. But my live streams also are very much known for their technical difficulties. I can't see people telling me that the sound is bad. That's usually the problem. So I guess it's looking okay. I guess we're looking okay. But there's always a chance that something's going to fall apart on my live streams. That's all part of the fun. I'm a notoriously awful live streamer. It's like whenever I'm around people, I haven't met a lot of fans of the channel. I still feel weird saying fans. Fans of the channel, whenever I meet them in person, I'm always feel like I have to really be extra interesting and smart to try to live up to the way I present myself on my videos. But on my videos, I get to write everything out in advance and then edit what I say afterwards. I am not any of those things live, so I'm doing the best I can. Hopefully we'll pull this off. So I wanted to just real quick, SpaceX actually put out a video yesterday that's like a new animation of how this whole thing's going to work. I thought I would share that with you really quick. And then we can talk about all the different things that could actually go wrong on this flight. There's so many things that they just can't test for without putting it up there. And that's what this is all about. So if it does blow up, we still learn some things from it. Obviously, that's the last thing SpaceX wants because they've got contracts to fill and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a show either way. That's all I'm going to say. So let me show that video real quick, just in case you haven't seen it. I know a lot of you, I'm sure, have. But just for fun, just for grins, let me play that. Here you go.
It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair, but her mummy is yelling no, and her daddy has told her to go, but her friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through her sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a sad thing for she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes bunch of fools if they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the long man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best-selling show. Is their life on Mars? It's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up the cow. And now the workers have struck for fame, 'cause Lennon's on sale again. See the mice in their million hordes, from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. Rule Britannia is out of bounds, to my mother, my dog and clowns. But the film is a sad thing for, 'cause I wrote it 10 times or more. It's about to be writ again, as I ask you to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the long man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best-selling show. Is their life on Mars?
So that's fun. There's a few things in that video actually that I know are not completely true. I wanted to go through that really quick. As you can see down below right here, SpaceX, they've got some footage going on now. All that smoke that you're seeing coming off of it, that's, I believe, the venting after they load the fuel on there. It's very super cooled and it has to vent out or it explodes. We don't want that. So there's a few things. I want to go through all the list of things that could go wrong with this launch. The number one thing is 27 engines. There's always a chance that something could go wrong when you're launching 27 engines. As I said in a previous video, mo engines, mo problems. I know a big part of getting this thing off the ground was figuring out how to launch them all at the same time. There's a lot of timing issues. Actually, they don't launch them all at the same time. I think they launched the two, I could be wrong about this. I think they launched the two outside cores first, and then they hit the middle core before they take off. But so they got to time it right is the point. There's also issues with vibration in the air. If you watch old Falcon 9 footage videos of their launches, you can see the cameras are like 3 miles away and the cameras are shaking. Like, that's how much noise and power are behind these things. And that's just with one of them. So there's going to be a whole lot of vibration going on in this thing. It's not completely sure how that's going to affect the mechanisms inside the rockets, how it's going to affect the connections between the rockets. Again, these are one of those things that you just don't know until you put it up in the air, and that's what this is all about. There's also the issue of wind, how the sort of resonance of the wind between the boosters can shake and rattle and roll things, and how that can affect the launch and how that can affect the outcome. Again, don't know till we get it up there. It could have separation issues with the boosters once it gets into space. Those the connectors, there's probably a better word for it than that. These have never been tested. Certainly have never been tested in space. So we get it up there and the boosters don't want to detach. That could be a thing. Landing issues. They have never landed more than one rocket at a time, or more than one booster at a time. They have landed 17 in a row at this point. They have successfully landed 17 Falcon 9 rockets in a row. Can we just stop for a second and just think about how amazing it is that they've had that great of a track record at doing something that once upon a time everyone thought was impossible? That's amazing. But today they're going to try to launch 3 of them. They're going to try to land 2 of them back on land, and then the center core they're going to try to land on the drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You is what they call it. But they've never done it before, so we'll see. Can they land 3 of them at the same time? We'll see. The second stage could have issues. There's always a chance that it doesn't fire off. Now that's a very low probability. They've never, as far as I know, really had a problem with that. Maybe on the Zuma mission, but probably not. And the last one would be the Van Allen belts. So if I understand it correctly, they're going to go up, they're going to enter orbit, and then eventually they're going to go out to geostationary orbit and try to achieve that first, because that's something that the Falcon Heavy, once it actually goes into operation, it's probably going to be doing a lot of that. It's going to be launching heavy satellites to geostationary orbit, which is higher than low Earth orbit, where most of the communication satellites and things are. So they're going to do that first, and then they're going to enter what they call a Mars injection burn, which will actually put it out toward the Mars orbit. Now, just to clarify this really quickly, I know there's a lot of confusion about this. They are not necessarily sending the Roadster to Mars. They are sending it to a Mars orbit. So it's actually just trying to go out to the distance of Mars, and it will be an elliptical orbit, so it'll come back. It'll be narrower, and it won't be right there at Mars. There's a tiny fraction of a % chance that eventually someday, millions of years from now, it might hit Mars. But I really think before that happens, some future space thing is going to go out and recover it. And I hope that happens in my lifetime. I hope I am old enough to see the salvage operation that goes out and gets the Roadster and pulls it back in, so we can see what happened to it over the years. How cool would that be? Anyway. So at the end of that video, when they show the Roadster, heading off toward Mars, that's not really going to happen. So a couple of things in that video. That was one of them, and the other was in the video they show the rockets landing at the same time on land. My understanding is that they're not actually going to land at the same time. That would be awesome, but they're gonna stagger it a little bit. How much, I'm not sure. I've heard everywhere from a few minutes to 15 seconds or something like that. But we'll see. Henrik A just gave me a tip. Thank you for that very much. Thank you. I get distracted by jiggly things. No, that's very nice. I appreciate it. What else? So, yeah, so there was the landing is probably not going to be simultaneous, and the rocket or the ship, or the car in space is probably not going to go directly to Mars. So there's that. So those are all the things that could go wrong on the launch. It could also go wrong that they just decide that it's not going to launch. Now, that's a very small probability at this point. Elon went on Twitter and said that I forget what he called it now, but the no going back button has been pressed, that they're definitely going for it. So I don't see it being scrubbed at this point, but if something goes wrong, then something could go wrong. One thing I did want to call out real quick. Of course somebody calls me right now. Of course they did. Please go away. Sorry, hang on a second. It's live. What can I tell you? I told you I was going to have live stream issues. No, when it comes to landing these 2 outer cores, I had heard that there's actually going to be some question as to whether they're going to be able to land it as well as normal, because they're going to have these nose cones on the top of them. And that can mess with the aerodynamics of the way the air, especially the drag of the air coming off the edge of it. They kind of perfected is a strong word, but I'll use it. They kind of perfected the landing of the booster without the nose cone. But that nose cone could cause issues with it coming back down that they're not prepared for. So they might actually have a little bit more trouble with the landings this time than normal. Obviously, I hope not. But again, I mentioned there's always live stream issues that could happen here. I'm just going to prepare you for it right now. Hello, Doggo. I noticed you. You called me senpai. I'll take it. there's all kinds of things that could happen over here. I could have internet issues. It has been raining here in Dallas today, although not very bad. It shouldn't be a problem. I have a package coming from Amazon, which means that somebody's going to step on a leaf outside my front door and my dogs are going to lose their minds. That could happen. My computer could have issues. OBS could quit on me. All kinds of things. Sound issues. I always have sound issues for some reason. Anyway, if the Falcon 9 does not blow up, I almost guarantee you that the live stream will blow up. You are guaranteed to watch some kind of disaster today. So you got that going for you. A whole string of numbers that I cannot possibly pronounce just gave me a €5 tip. Thank you very much. With a cup of Joe. I got a cup of Joe right here myself. I am the grammar Nazi, so I insult people with my mugs. But thank you for that. That's very nice. And Lauren Newman, Canadian $20. Thank you so much for the tips. This is great, guys. Wow. Thank you. It's amazing. So, oh, by the way, so I do have this going on. If SpaceX manages to, why am I talking like this? If SpaceX manages to land all 3 rockets and get into orbit, I have some bubbly I'm going to open. This is blush pink champagne because I'm classy like that. Now, somebody left this at our house after a party and it's been in my fridge for I don't even know how long. So I will bust this out. I will pop the cork and I'm going to have a drink in a very non-champagne wine glass. I don't have any champagne flutes. What's up with that? I'm not a classy dude. Chris Schaefer, thank you very much, sir, for the tip. I feel like I'm a waiter again, except these are much better tips, and I like this job much better. So we're at like 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. It's still venting down there. Here, I'll give you the bigger picture so you can see the big rocket. There's a few things I was gonna just kind of chat about, just kind of give you some information, and then I can answer some questions. When it is time for this thing to launch, I'm gonna just sit back and enjoy it with the rest of you. I'm not gonna have anything to add. I mean, I might just be talking. I might be drooling. I said some things in a live chat I might be doing. I won't do those things. That's not going to happen. Somebody else left a little tip. Who was that? I want to call you out. I'll give you some props. Hang on a second. Visario. Thank you very much, sir. Or ma'am. I'm going to assume it's a man. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. So somebody had asked in the live stream earlier how long I'm going to be going. I want to see the fairings open, and I want to see the roadster, and I want to see those shots, and I might follow it a little bit after that. I will probably ask or take some more questions from you guys afterwards. We can hang out a little bit. Obviously, if it's a success, I'm going to pop this champagne and have some, and probably drink for the rest of the day. This is pretty much all I'm doing today. I tried to get some work done earlier, and that just did not happen. But anyway, so it's going to be about 6 hours before it goes into that Mars injection burn. So obviously I'm not going to stay here for 6 hours, but we can all follow it later on. I'm sure there will be plenty of footage going forward with this after it's all said and done. I mentioned how it's going into geostationary. I guess I've written down here because I'm like I said, I'm terrible with live streams. So they, as you saw in the video, they do actually have a dummy that's sitting in the driver's seat of this car. I did not expect that. I think that's funny. They did have some pictures on Twitter and I think Instagram that were showing that earlier today. And that is the SpaceX suit that they created, which looks like it's something out of Tron Legacy. But the thing that they had in the video, actually you can see it right there. Yeah, SpaceX just pulled it up. Can you see it? It's so cool. That kills me. What if there was an actual person in there? What if they like dug up a body, or like some dude that like donated his body to science got put in that suit and it's fun, dude? That'd be amazing. Okay. So in the video they show the car completely detaching from the second stage and just kind of going off into space by itself. I don't know if that's the plan or not. Like I said, there were a few other things that they kind of fudged a little bit for that video, and that's fine. It's just a promotional video. But I don't know if that's the plan or if it's actually going to remain attached to a second stage that's going to keep going out towards Mars. I love the idea of the way they showed it. It's just kind of like cruising through space, like it's, riding on an invisible highway or something. Chase Wolf, thank you for that. And somebody got up there earlier. Oh, Kevin McNicholas. Hello from Ireland. Hello to you, sir. Ireland. I'm not going to do that. That was terrible. Why did I even think I could do that? I like the idea that it could just cruise like that. I have a feeling it would be doing a little bit more flippy dippy over end type stuff, because that's just kind of how space works, So I wanted to show one little thing, and then I will get into some questions. We got about almost 8 minutes left. For those of you who have been following me for a while, I've got this answerswithjoe.com/shirts store. This is a collaboration with a guy named Michael from Prague. He runs a store called sfsf.com. He does some really great, nerdy, fun, punny shirts. That's why I wanted to work with him. I thought it was right up my alley. But he actually has a couple that I wanted to show you that deal with Falcon Heavy that you might want to check out. They're brand new. They've just been up there and then the last couple weeks, I guess. But here they are. One of them plays off of Star Wars, Mars Wars. And then there's the one, actually the one on the left is, honestly, it's my favorite. It's got the evolution of the Falcon going right up to the Millennium Falcon with the new Solo movie, the new trailer that came out for that recently. I think that's pretty timely. But I love that. I love that video. I love that shirt. So answerswithjoe.com/shirts. If those look interesting to you, you can go check those out. Just wanted to call that out real quick. Let's see. I need to do something here. Hang on. Give me a second. Give me just a second. I want to be able to respond to your questions, but I got to be able to pull up the live chat so I can do that. This is all stuff that you can't see on your end, and nor should you have to worry about it. Thanks for your patience, by the way. You guys have been really patient all day today. Hi from Denmark, from Sander Norlem. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so good at saying names that are not totally American names. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And who else? Sandra Trejo. Love the setup. Cool. I'm glad. I've been trying to do... I do want to do more of the live streaming. I did have that idea for doing news segments every Wednesdays, so I'm trying to step up my game a little bit. So thank you for that, Sandra. And Jessica Park, £5. 5 British pounds. Thank you very much. God, I'm the worst with accents. Why do I even do that? Thank you, guys. And another string of letters, numbers. You're like a cryptocurrency hash thing. I got hi from Bulgaria, from Staunch. Hello from Brazil. Hello back. Bolzano, Italy. Luxembourg. My God, you guys are from all over the place. There's 1,200 people watching right now. That's amazing. That's amazing. I should be way more nervous than I am. Joe, do you have a speech if it blows up? I don't. No, I don't have a speech prepared. I'm going to be slack-jawed as the rest of you. Watch my channel for better quality. Yeah, you can do that. I don't care. How many minutes left? It's got 5 minutes, right about 5 minutes. God, I'm not used to so many comments on here. Ashkern would donate, but he's broke. Cool with me. You're still a friend. I don't think the tires would explode. I think you're responding to somebody else. Hi from Australia. All right, hang on. All right. We got Spain, Egypt, South Texas. South Texas is probably about as far away from me as Egypt is. Do you realize Elon has tweeted that Elvis is in the suit? I didn't see that. That's funny. Would Elvis be frozen at that point then? And thank you for the tip there. I appreciate that. What is my in real life job? Somebody asked. Who asked that? Lewis asked that, or Louise. This is my real life job at this point. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to all the support you guys have given me. This is what I get to do now, and I'm super thankful for that. Greece, UK, Finland, Uruguay, Switzerland, Florida. What country is not here? Let's ask that one. Ukraine, India. I think we're just throwing out like countries at this point. Arizona, Scotland, Arizona is a whole country. So Prune Juice Power says, put the brakes on the chat with my stream settings. Okay, well, I'll have to look into that, I guess. So we're 3 minutes in. You can see all the smoke happening right there. Vikram, hey, thanks, man. Thanks so much. ISRO and SpaceX should get together for some missions. I know that ISRO has been doing some cool stuff. They had a big successful launch like last month, I want to say. I do want to do a video eventually that talks about other private companies and other nationality, I can talk, other space agencies from around the world and the projects they have going on. I know that Japan just launched the smallest spacecraft to ever reach orbit, which is in itself a huge deal. So that's really cool. But I do want to talk about that eventually. There's so much going on right now. Rob Smith with a tip. Thank you, sir. Is there a way to slow this down? I have not figured this out yet. Something to know for next time. Lithuania agrees. My good goodness. My good goodness. Remember to pull the volume so we can hear it. Okay, so that's a good call. Thank you, Jesus666. Nice. From Austria. The only way that I can do that, by the way, for the sound when I get on here is I'm going to have to play through my speakers, so it's probably not going to be great, but I'm going to do the best I can. Unfortunately, there's not a way for me to share that audio directly through my computer in OBS, so I'm going to have a little bit of a workaround. Hopefully it'll be all right. You guys let me know in the comments, obviously. Ben Elder just wants to see his name on the screen. Well, now you heard it come out of my mouth very badly. So does anybody have a question? I'm seeing a lot of countries being listed. There's 145 before this thing takes off. Man, look at all the venting coming off that. Isn't that awesome? That is so cool. Okay, I can tell I'm crossing over to the point where I'm going to have to stop hosting and just like experience this with the rest of you because this is super cool. In fact, you know what? We're 1 minute and 30. I'm going to go ahead and turn the sound on over here.
And when do you fuel bleed complete?
Tell me if you can hear that. No, I need to move that off.
And when do you engine chill is complete?
AFTS is ready for launch.
Ready for launch. Here we go, guys. My palms are actually sweaty right now. Okay. Any of you guys that are leaving tips for me, I will try to get back and thank you for those in a minute. I'm gonna be having to watch this. I don't want to be interrupting by thanking everybody, although I'm very thankful, obviously.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Sounds good, everybody says? Sounds great? Good, okay.
Launch director on countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, stand by for terminal count.
Here we go.
10, 9, 8,
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. My heart is racing right now. This is so cool. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, it's still going.
Falcon Heavy heading to space on our test flight. Building on the history of Saturn V Apollo, returning pad 39A to interplanetary mission. We're getting ready to throttle down for Max Q.
Who is this announcer? So yeah, Max Q is where it reaches the ultimate like atmospheric pressure against the rocket as it's moving forward. It's as the atmosphere gets thinner, it's going to go away.
Vehicle supersonic.
You've heard the call out. Vehicle is supersonic.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
side boosters are now throttling back up to full
Vehicle has
power.
reached maximum dynamic pressure.
We're past max Q, the period of maximum loads on the vehicle. Next up, we'll be waiting for the side boosters to begin to throttle down prior to booster engine cutoff and separation 2.5 minutes into flight.
Okay, so we got another minute or so before the boosters separate.
GNC trajectory looks good on the Falcon Heavy. Reports show that the M1D engine performance is nominal.
Contact engine chills begun.
Side boosters have begun to throttle down in preparation for the upcoming shutdown in 20 seconds.
I'm kind of without words right now, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like, I'm just watching this with you. This is history.
Major event coming up with side booster shutdown and separation.
Here's another critical point. So let's see if they pull it off. There it is. Oh my god. If they land these, I'm gonna mess my pants, man.
Booster release by exciting.
Successful separation. We're coming up on Miko and shutdown.
Stay safe.
Oh, there we go. So there's a second stage just came out. I love watching the cones start to glow in the second stage. Watch this. There it is. I love that.
Coming up on fairing separation.
Oh, they're about to do the fairing. This is what I want to see.
On power, also repeat.
Oh, the the music started. I thought they were gonna play Space. Oh, there it is! There it is! Don't panic. Can you imagine if you worked for SpaceX, how you'd be feeling right now? Let's see if they can land these things.
Wow. Wow. Did you guys see that? That was awesome. That's the only thing I can really say.
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I got nothing else.
Oh, man. Recapping all the great things that you just saw there. Successful liftoff from the pad, successful stage separation, but before that successful booster separation, you can see stage one. The two side boosters, pardon me, you can see the center core and you can see MVAC lit up. Oh my gosh.
Then the beautiful shots of Starman.
Yeah, let's see some more shots of the car, man.
Absolutely incredible.
I was really hoping to see. Hang on, I was really hoping to see the fairings open, like from inside, to see them blow open and see the car come out of it. Didn't quite get that, but that's still pretty cool. All right, so now they got to land these things. It looks like they've got a little bit of time before that happens. Man, y'all kind of lost me for a minute there because I was just flipping out. That was amazing. Thanks again, everybody who has left some tips on here. I apologize that I can't respond to them right now. I've just got I've got too much going on. It's just too much. Okay, so a little bit of downtime right now. Thanks, Issy? Issy? Hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much.
And as you can see on your screen, that re-entry burn.
Yeah, we got the re-entry burn going. This is going to happen pretty fast. I really am curious how much they stagger the landings. I'm trying to separate it.
Screen performing its own re-entry burn. You can see the edge of Cape Canaveral in both of the side booster cameras as those are coming in.
Some DY and NY side boosters have saved.
Center core entry burn shutdown.
And even though those look very similar, those two boosters' views, those are actually representing different boosters. And they're headed towards Earth. They're about to begin their landing.
That is a lot to follow.
We'll hopefully be able to get some nice footage of that.
Both side boosters transonic.
And watch for the landing lights to pull in at the top end of their range.
It's always a bummer when those onboard cameras get covered up by the stuff.
And that
Those are coming in about the same time. Oh no, there's that one that's below it.
Be on track towards their respective
Side
landing
boosters
zones.
landing lanes have started. Side boosters landing lanes have deployed.
Oh my god!
And the Falcons have landed.
Oh my god!
LZ2, both side
That is amazing! Oh my god!
Very shortly.
Start looting.
Attention is landing on the autonomous spaceport drone ship.
Holy crap! I didn't think they were gonna land them at the same time like that. That is, oh.
Screen. Sometimes this footage goes out when it approaches the drone ship and the heavy vibrations make it lose signal. We're crossing our fingers that's not the case right now.
Everybody's chanting.
Nominal parking orbit insertion.
So it looks like the landing is happening at the moment. We have lost signal.
Ah!
We're hoping that signal comes back shortly.
Oh man, yeah. As Michael mentioned earlier, with the vibrations of the rocket and how it shakes
Okay,
the
so-
cameras that are on the drone ships.
It looks like they lost footage of the landing, but they think it has.
We've just gotten confirmation.
We're waiting to hear what happens, and so we're listening in, and we're still waiting to hear.
That sucks.
We'll let you know as soon as we find out. You'll know. People are cheering, but we'll get the call and know.
This is weird. I'm like commentating on the commentators.
It's doing, whether it's
That's what's happening right now.
or not.
Meanwhile,
Other two landings.
those were absolutely gorgeous. Meanwhile,
I don't want to cut away until we find out if it landed.
Towards Mars. It's all looking good there. John Ike, come give us a recap of the full mission.
He stands.
Well, if you could hear all that cheering, it was an outstanding test flight of the Falcon Heavy.
Oh, there we go. Look at that shot.
Cameras cycling right now. Live views coming down from low Earth orbit. The second stage successfully got there, and it got there as a culmination of a great Falcon Heavy test flight. We lit 27 engines.
Okay.
throttled the boosters up and down. We separated the side boosters.
I've got a terrible
They
voice
came
with
a
this dude.
Spectacular simultaneous landing. The center core did its job. The second stage did it. Everything that you could want in a test flight, we got here. Now we're just looking for the icing on the cake to find out what happened on the drone show. But all in all, an outstanding test flight for Falcon Heavy.
Wow, what an absolutely momentous occasion. Thank you so much to the range for contributing their expertise to today's launch, the FAA for the licenses to launch and land those boosters, as well as the rest of Falcon Heavy. And thank you to you, the viewers, for joining us for a really, really cool moment here.
And to find out what happened with the center core and what's going on with Starman as he makes its journey through space and all of our other launches, you can visit us at SpaceX.com and follow us on social
well,
media.
that's a
on
bummer.
LinkedIn and Twitter.
If you would like to join us on exciting projects like these, please
Ha.
visit SpaceX.com.
Oh, cheering. Hang on.
From the
That's a real bummer if they end this without me knowing. If it landed, they're ending it. Oh, you sons of... All right, that shot makes up for it. I've got a yeah, they didn't show the core stage. Hang on. I've got an app on my phone, by the way. Anybody? I just discovered this recently. It's really cool. It's called SpaceX Now, and that's where I've been getting my updates here outside of what you're seeing, and it's sending me alerts, but it's not saying if the third one landed or not. So, assuming it's going to keep sending me alerts, and SpaceX is signing off. So let's switch back over here. Oh my God, guys, oh my God, that was so cool. My face is totally flush right now. I'm recovering. Hang on, let me recover a little bit. Let me make this a little bigger. Hang on. I gotta get myself together now. Well, tell you what, I don't care. I don't know if it landed or not. That was worth it. I'm popping this bubbly right here, man. What'd you guys think? Let me. That was so sick, says Alex. Alex, is it so sick? So tight. Diago's asking why is he crying. Dude, I almost lost it there for a minute. Actually, you know what I should do? Hang on. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check in with Tim and see how he's doing. Oh, did he go off? Well, that's crazy. Tim, I knew was going to be like bawling his eyes out no matter what happened. He's like super into this. I don't know. He's not there. All right. Guys, that was amazing. That was so cool. Am I actually going to be thwarted by the foil in this thing? I am going to crack some champagne if it kills me. And now we're watching a masterclass commercial. All right, we don't need that. How about I just get rid of that camera? Where is it? There, okay. So it's just us now, and you can see your comments up there. I want to leave those up. I can't wait to find out what happened to the center core. But I'm going to open this champagne, and and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. You can ask me some questions. You can share your thoughts. Who else was crying? Joe, look at the feed. Look at what feed? What are you talking about? Oh, I had it on the wrong thing. Thank you for saying that. Boom. Yeah, that's worth it. That's worth keeping out. You're right. In fact, I'm going to make that big. So, hang on a second. Oh, here's how crappy this champagne is. It's a twist-off. Twist-off champagne. What's that about? Somebody left this at my house. Let me see if I can do it without blowing up the room. Oh my God, this might be the worst champagne on earth. It didn't even pop. I might get some kind of disease from drinking this. Oh well. All right, give me just 1 second. I'm going to pour myself a little bit of this, and then I'll jump in and we can answer questions and talk. I appreciate you guys' patience. Gosh, there's 5,800 people watching right now. Thank you, everybody. On a Tuesday. I would love to say I had some kind of really cool toast prepared for this. Well, SpaceX just went dead. Hang on. I don't have some kind of cool toast for this, except I'm just going to say to Elon and to SpaceX for doing the impossible, for getting a whole new class of ship up there, and to everything that comes after. This was amazing and exciting, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. That is awful champagne. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff flying through the chat here. I'm going to try to keep up. I'm not used to having this many people talking on here, so apologies if I miss a lot of things. So everybody's asking about the third stage. I don't have the answer to that right now. I've got the app on my phone, and it should send me a little thing when it's up or when they know the answer. Obviously, we'll all know soon enough, but I would like to be able to tell you before I come off of here. Gameplays TV, thank you for that. From the Philippines. I know that currency. Way to go. Was that for me? Oh, I didn't do it. I'll take it, though. Thank you. Is the Roadster still okay? I believe so. Oh, man, there's so many people on here. Skipped out of work today because of this. Does that make me a bad person? Asks Joseph Jones. No, not at all. I think anytime you can skip work for any reason is perfectly legit. And this is not something you're ever going to get to see again. And we didn't know what was going to happen. You could have caught some amazing, obviously not like a shuttle disaster kind of thing, but you could have caught the thing blowing up and hitting the launch pad, and there was anything that could have happened today, and you could have missed it. You didn't want to miss it. I don't blame you at all. You're a good person. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Center core exploded, I'm seeing. I don't have confirmation of that, but somebody said that the center core exploded in the chat. So let me check the Twitters. Check the Twitters. God, I'm talking like I talk to my dog. Oh, come on, phone. Okay, no, I'm not seeing that it exploded anywhere just yet. No word from SpaceX. People are trolling. Okay. I love the internet where anybody can say anything and start a rumor and cause all kinds of trouble. But yes, don't panic, says Abin Skib. Daniel, thank you for that very much. I appreciate it. But let's put this in perspective, by the way. They perfectly landed, even if it blew up, which has not been confirmed yet. Even if they did, they perfectly landed 2 boosters at the same time. Never been done before. Never been done before. And that would make, they had 17, so that would make 19 in a row that they landed perfectly before this one. Maybe did not, but we don't know yet. We don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Checking Twitter every 5 seconds. Yeah, no kidding. It's kind of hard for me to check Twitter and still be here, like, talking to you guys. I'm doing the best I can. Watching the launch is an amazing experience, says Blitz Vogel. I agree, man. That hit me really harder than I thought it would. Like something about seeing that thing actually take off, and yeah, it's so cool. My nuts are worthy of the space journey, says, who was that? Eric Williams. Thank you for that, Eric. Thank you and your nuts. Okay, somebody asked me to talk about something. Where did it go? Where did it go? Jacob Weston, I love you. Thank you. And Farmer Colton can just do that to himself. Let's see. Don't panic. OMG. The center stage blew up the Earth. I don't think that happened. Awesome. Prune juice. I've never made love to TO women at the same time, but you better believe that when the time comes, I'll make it work. So many jokes I could say there, but I'll just skip it. That was as exciting as an Apollo launch in the 60s, says Steve Starr. Steve, were you actually there for that? Because I wasn't. I'm not challenging you. I'm just asking if you were there. I would love to know if it does match that same amount of enthusiasm. There was somebody on Twitter, by the way. I just wanted to have this conversation real quick. Somebody on Twitter was asking me if I felt like this was as exciting, or how did he put it? Basically, he was comparing it to Apollo 11. Does this match Apollo 11? And somebody else answered this before I got a chance to, but they did answer what I thought. Oh, hang on. I didn't say. I think those are kind of comparing apples and oranges, because Apollo 11 was sort of the end of a long journey. You could say Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, all the 10 years ever since, Kennedy made that speech saying we're going to go to the moon in 61, I believe, and it was 69, so more like 8 years, I guess. But that was the end of this big long process to fulfill a promise that Kennedy made and everything. This is the beginning. This is a test launch. It's not even an actual launch. It's not even an actual payload. So this would be more comparable to, I guess, when John Glenn first went into orbit or something like that. You could also make the argument that Apollo 11 was the beginning of our moon exploration, although that lasted much shorter than everything that led up to it. It was really just about getting there, and there were Cold War politics and all that. But I would argue that those are apples and oranges. Those are two different things. But it is still exciting. I want to try to put this into the right kind of perspective. On one hand, it's not a whole new thing. I don't necessarily think we're entering a whole new phase of spaceflight or anything. This didn't really break any new ground. It was mostly, right now it is, assuming it's successful, which it looks like it is, the most powerful rocket in the world. It is not the most powerful rocket of all time. There were, I think, 4 above that. There were 3 of them were Russian, I believe, and then the Saturn V. So, hang on, let's see. Okay. Every time something pops up in my phone, I'm going to do that because I want to find out for sure what happened here. Okay, so kit forum, hang on. I watched the Apollo 11 launch and the moon landing. The Falcon Heavy launch was just as spectacular. Okay, interesting. I would say that the fact that the technology has come so far that we can have cameras on on the ship that you can see, like you can follow it in real time and you're there. I think that really heightens the level of excitement. And just the fact that, we can share in this. I feel like I'm just kind of an arbiter of what's going on here, and you guys are sharing all this together in the live chat. That's something that was never possible before. So all of that, I think, may create an experience that maybe even Apollo 11 couldn't quite match. What I can't wait for is when they do get the BFR up and running. On that note, there was a piece of news that I was going to mention earlier, and actually, hang on, I may have it written down here. I actually made notes for this. I didn't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss a thing, which was an Aerosmith song for the movie Armageddon, which was about traveling to an asteroid. So there's a space launch link up there. One piece of news that I heard, total tangent. One piece of news that I heard was that they are not, apparently this came out of a news conference yesterday, and thank you, Eska, very much, to space exploration. I'm all over the map right now. Yes, they had a press conference yesterday, SpaceX did, or a call, where they said that the Falcon Heavy is not going to be what they call human-weighted, meaning that they're not going to actually be launching humans into space on this thing. It is basically, its singular purpose at this point seems to be to launch really heavy payloads into orbit, which is necessary, that's needed. But that also changes a few things, because they were going to have this, this was kind of a gimmick, but they were going to launch a couple of space tourists around the moon with the Falcon Heavy. I want to say either at the end of this year or maybe next year, like coming up pretty soon. It was, well, according to their earlier estimates anyway. But clearly that's not going to be the case if it's not going to be, rated for human flight. So that asks a couple of questions. Obviously, the Dragon 2 capsule, which is going to be carrying people, they haven't gotten that up yet. Again, something else that might happen this year or the next. Excuse me, champagne. They were going to be putting that, obviously, to the ISS. sending astronauts up there. But I think they can do that with the Falcon 9. I don't think they necessarily have to have the Falcon Heavy for that. So they still are going to have a manned program through SpaceX, hopefully. Stan, thank you for that very much. But where was I going with that? So what that means is that they're basically, for their manned stuff, going to be focusing heavier on the BFR. So they're actually kind of going into overdrive a little bit with the BFR production, which is super exciting. And that also means that the first people that are going to do that trip around the moon are probably going to be on a BFR rocket. I really feel like that is going to be the big game changer. Falcon Heavy is exciting. This was amazing. It was so much more fun to watch than I even thought it would be, and I was super excited about it. But when you have a 2-stage rocket that is completely 100% reusable, that they can just put up and down whenever they want, I think that's going to be the game changer. I think that's what's really going to push things forward, not just for dust flying around, not just for Mars flight, but for human flight in general. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, so let me back up here. Who is that? Naren Batar says the core has landed. Confirmed? I still haven't seen that yet. I hope you're right. They're way behind on the SpaceX app. I'm still not getting confirmation on that just yet, but we may not get it before we wrap this up. That's just a real bummer that didn't work out, the thing. So, Guarov, I may be pronouncing your name wrong. It's always possible. Where'd you go? Feeling awesome to see Elon's overambitious dreams come true and help science and humanity move forward faster than ever before. It's 3 a.m. here. Love from India. Well, you need to get some sleep, my friend. You were Guarov, if I'm saying your name right, and I apologize if I'm not. He was on the live stream. We were all chatting up there long before this thing ever got started. So yeah, you've been up for a while. It's late. You can go to bed. When you get up in the morning, we should have some answers for you. But I appreciate you being here. I wish Bowie was around to see that. Oh my God, I was thinking that earlier. I was thinking that earlier. I was like, God, I wish Bowie had lived another couple of years to see this happen. I mean, what a tribute, you know? Especially, I'm kind of bummed that they didn't have solar panels on it so that it could just literally play on loop forever. Who wouldn't want that? That would be so cool. I am sad that Bowie didn't get to see that. Of course, there's the argument to be made that if he was still around, then maybe they wouldn't be doing that because it wouldn't be as much of a tribute to a living person. By the way, Bowie is that dude was an artist. Like he went out like nobody else has ever gone out before. He put out that Black Star album that was literally all about his own death, and he put it out like the day before he died. That was just insane. How does a person do that? What an artist. All right. Somebody is actually crying. This is going so fast. No sound? Are you guys not getting any sound? Somebody said there was no sound. I have a feeling somebody's just messing with me. Hello, hello? No, you got sound. You got sound. You'll get what you get. Oh, somebody's saying it's CGI. Do we have a flat earther in here? Well, somebody just got banned. Yeah, somebody got banned. Okay. Okay, here we go. Sydney M. Hi, Joe. I just watched the show on SpaceX's webcast. Epic show. So proud to have seen this. Yes, me too. It was a blast. I'm kind of seeing these a little bit late because I have to slow. My train is there. Did you hear that train? Did you really hear that, Peter? There's a train track that's probably about a mile from my house, but you can still hear the train come by. All right, so Crypto Faction asked a question. I will answer. I have to ask an important question. Is all of those launches are damaging to our air and our Earth? Lots of carbon and toxics. You know, that was an argument that some people were making when Elon talked about using the BFR to actually travel from city to city. That you do go, I mean, when you think about it, think about how much fuel is in those rockets that it burns through just to get into the atmosphere. The thing is, though, I mean, we launch a rocket, what, once a month? Maybe around the world, maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. When you compare that to the hundreds of millions of cars and airplanes and every other combustible thing that's going on around the world, it's just the tiniest amount. So I don't think it's not the thing that's going to send us over the tipping point. There's many other things that are going to do that. Parsing Elf, watching the landing was just like watching a beautiful dance. This was tear-jerking. It really was, wasn't it? Like I really did not expect them to land at the same time like that. I really didn't. I was so blown away. It was so cool. Okay, so we do have sound. I can't believe you guys heard the train. I could barely hear it myself. And we have some trolls. That's always great. Could I replay the video? Well, it's kind of replaying right now down below, and you can replay this later on. When will the payload be on its way to Mars, asks Thomas. Good question. So sorry, I'm getting some tweets coming. Yes, so I said this at the beginning and you might have missed it, but they are going to first put it into geostationary orbit. That's the first number one thing that they want to do, because that's what the Falcon Heavy is going to be doing, is going to be putting large payloads into geostationary orbit, which is higher than low Earth orbit. And that's why they had to land the middle core out in the ocean. So that's priority number one. And what I'd read was that they were going to be in that geostationary orbit for 6 hours or so. So it's going to be another 6 hours before they do what they call Mars. It's blowing. It's falling out of my head now. The Mars injection burn, that's what it's called. So that's what actually sends it out toward Mars orbit. So it's going to be about 6 hours or so before they do that. There was something else I was going to just talk about, and it went out of my mind. So yeah, the Van Allen belts, that's what I was going to talk about. We haven't, I could be wrong about this. I very well could be wrong about this, but we haven't gone through the Van Allen belts in a really long time. With Apollo, they figured out a way, see if I can do it with my hand. So you got Earth here, and you have the Van Allen belts like that. They were able to launch and kind of go around like in a northerly trajectory over the Van Allen belts. So that, I mean, they still kind of went through it, but kind of on the edge. They missed the worst parts of it. Just let me back up a little bit. If you don't know what the Van Allen belts are, it's because of the magnetic sphere around our planet that protects us, and we're glad it's there. What it does is it captures a lot of radiation from the sun and other places that funnels it into these belts that was discovered by, I forget his first name, but it was a guy named Van Allen. It was something Van Allen. His name was not Van Allen anyway. But it's basically a very high concentration of radiation in these belts around the planet. And there was some concern that the second stage was going to go through the Van Allen belts. That radiation can mess with instruments. It could definitely mess with the cameras that are on board, so that might destroy a few things. Oh, great, Ty Lopez is on there. So there were issues. There were some concerns with the Van Allen belts, but that's something that's going to be going on, I guess, in at least 6 hours before they do that injection burn. So let me answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to sign off because I got a lot of crappy champagne to drink and a lot of work that I got none done today. Dave Garaffa, a simple thank you, and thank you to you for the tip and for the kind words. I appreciate that. I think I may have missed another tip up there somewhere. And if I do, by the way, guys, if you left a tip and I didn't thank you, just please accept this as my thank you because I super appreciate it. There was just so much going on through this whole thing. I'm hearing people saying now that the core did crash. If you listen to the video at 38, the operator said we lost the center core. So okay, so yeah, apparently if you go to about 38 and a half minutes on the SpaceX stream, somebody says that the core is dead. Obviously, I cannot check that right now, but we may have lost the core, which that's a bummer. But hey, everything else was amazing. So Arturo was asking if it landed. That's what I know right now. R.I.P. core. Should I play some Sarah McLachlan for the core? I've got it here somewhere. Center core lost. Yeah, everybody's saying the center core is lost. Let me catch up here. Oh, so much stuff. I need to get myself to YouTube Red to avoid the horrible ads. Oh, because of this jagweed over here. You know what? Actually, I just signed up for YouTube TV. Like 3 days ago, I signed up for YouTube TV, and I know I have access to YouTube Red content. I don't know if that automatically gives me YouTube Red service. Clearly not if I'm getting ads, but YouTube TV is pretty cool. It's got live TV from all these different channels. A lot of sports channels, which I don't really follow too much, but anyway, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just kind of testing it out. We'll see. I have what's it called? What's that other one? Sling. I have Sling too. I may get rid of Sling because it doesn't have local channels, and I want to get local channels. All right. What else? Dustin, thank you for that. One small step for spaceflight, one big step for Mars. Let's hope so. That was cool. I took the core and put it in your troll's ass. Oh, my audience is awesome. Let's see. Alexa, play Sarah McLachlan. I don't have Alexa, but that would be easy. YouTube is lame. We used to have live audio chat on Yahoo. Can you imagine if 7,300 people were live chatting on audio right now? That would be crazy. What's my next video going to be? Asked Jason Maynard. Well, I can't say because it's a collaboration with somebody that it's not hasn't been made public yet, so I can't say right now. But I think the collaboration has been pushed a little bit, so this month's schedule is kind of up in the air, and that's something I need to work on as soon as I get off of here. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. I really would if it wasn't for the collaboration, but it's a big one, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm sure most of you guys know who this is. So I want to talk about it, but I really can't right now. Dagar Co H. Okay, Joe, how do I explain to my wife how this was so awesome that I cried and am still shaking? Men and women cry at different things. And most of us guys, most of us XY people were brought up being told that we can't express our emotions, we can't show how we feel about things, but we do have very strong emotions, and we should be able to express those things, because when we don't, we flip out and we do terrible things. So I would just tell your wife that this is a thing that guys cry about. All right, it's just what we do. We got emotions. We got a deep well of emotions, and it comes out. It rocket launches. Or you can just tell her you're a giant nerd, because if you cried at this, you're probably a giant nerd, and that's perfectly fine. God knows I am. All the build-up and all the delays made it emotional, says Peter. I think that helps, yeah. Let me just see. Yeah, so we're talking about how we're crying. We're talking about the core booster. I'll tell you what, guys. If I hear differently that it survived somehow or something, now the argument is that it wasn't that the core was lost like it exploded, but it was lost in that they lost communication with the core, which is a totally different thing from it exploding. We'll find out. We will know, I'm sure, as soon as I get off of this thing. But China shot down the core. I don't think so. 1 minute of silence for the core. The Roadster's feed stay live during the trip to Mars. Oh, will the Roadster feed stay live during the trip to Mars? Asks Carl Weimar. I don't know. I mean, it's not even live now, so I'm gonna doubt it. Tell you what, I have a special guest. Let me do this real quick, and then we'll say goodbye. Say hello to Zoe, everybody. Hello, Zozo. We just saw a gigantic spaceship take off. We saw a big spaceship take off. Did you know that the first animal in space was a dog? It didn't come back either. That's what the Russians did. Okay, I am now playing with my dog, and you guys are making fun of me, I'm sure. That's fine. I don't care. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna shut this down. I've been kind of at this since like for the last 4 hours because I was planning on doing this around noon, and it's now 3:30 here, and I got plenty of work to do. And my dog clearly needs to go outside. So thank you guys so much. I've never had an audience remotely this size before for a live stream. I'm sure it's all because of the Falcon Heavy. Has very little to do with me. But I thank you guys so much for joining. Everybody that left a tip and a super chat, I cannot thank you enough. It really means the world to me. I should have another video up on Thursday for my Random Thursday gig, and I guess I won't be doing a Wednesday news thing. That's still in its infancy. I'm still working out some stuff on that. But this helped. This helped because I think this was actually a good live stream. I think this might be my first successful live stream. So I'm glad you guys are all here for it, and a good time too, because I have a gigantic audience watching this right now. So expect a video on Thursday, obviously video on Monday. Follow me on my socials, Answers with Joe, on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. I will follow up when we have a confirmation on the core. There still seems to be just a lot of confusion about it right now. But when we have confirmation, I'll let you know. But with that, again, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a blast. I'm gonna go clean my pants now. So thank you guys again. I will see you next time. Love you. Take care.